Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about AI SEO and our strategies. So I'm joined with James, as we can see over there.
Pleased to meet you.
I think you should probably kick this one off. What is your content strategy for using AI?
So obviously going into 2024 now, AI is becoming a massive part of everything that we're doing within our agencies. We're making certain that we've not laid any member of staff off. It's just to supercharge every single member of staff within the business. The output on loads of different things is incredible. So on the content side of things, we've got, obviously we're both investors in auto blogging. Some people could say we're biased with that because we're an investor in it, but I only really invest in brands or companies that I believe are the best.
Yeah.
Or if they're not the best at the time, I want to make certain that they are the best, and I'm going to keep going and going and going until we improve on quality control. So auto blogging now with godlike mode's incredible. Even the bulk mode is really good.
That was a painful 2-3 weeks of going back and forth, but the prompts now are amazing. The images are great as well. So yeah, continue.
So yeah, on the auto blogging, for the mainly using it for the supplementary kind of supporting documents is great. And then we've got Topical Titan coming out and Content Veggie, which are premium versions of auto blogging. Yep. So it's obviously the human editing side of AI content. So it's got more prompts in there.
Yeah.
So using that now for money pages, which I actually never thought I would do. And literally I roll on 6 weeks and I'm now using it for money pages.
So one question that people would probably have is, so you're using right now auto blogging for your content on money sites or just for...
On money sites, yeah, but mainly for blogs.
Right, okay. So for blogs, you're using auto blogging. For actual money pages, so more important pages, you might have an actual editor that is editing or spending more time on auto blogging?
Yeah,
or
so
is it...
the godlike mode is a one-off. Instead of it being a bulk kind of generation, it's a one-off mode.
Yep.
But the prompts in there, to write a 2,000-3,000 word article, there might be 10,000 lines of prompts. So the amount of OpenAI usage is I think it's like 50 times more OpenAI usage now that we're doing than what it was 2 months ago. Because Scott's just been absolutely badgering Dave and improving it. So, but now it's got to a point with GPT-4 and obviously GPT-5 coming out and stuff like that this year, that it's just amazing. Like I can't believe how much better GPT-4 is compared to 3.5. And I think it's only going to get better again. And I think, to be fair, it's not just even that AI's got better. We just got better at prompts. So every single one of the team, obviously, you'll not have been trained to be now better at AI prompts.
Yeah, prompt engineers.
Prompt engineers, exactly. So as they're doing that and we're prompting in the correct manner, the output is incredible. So
yeah, so that's your content strategy.
Yep.
Then when it comes to, let's say, images, what are you using there?
So, I mean, myself, I'm just using like DALL-E within ChatGPT and stuff like that, but Midjourney's gone a lot better. But obviously you're absolutely crushing it with regards to the YouTube thumbnails and any images that you're doing in the blogs and stuff like that. So what is it that you're preferring? Obviously you've tested every one of them. What's your favourite now?
So if I'm out on the fly, I love using DALL-E. DALL-E is just really easy. You can even get it on your phone now.
Yeah.
And it's obviously part of like the ChatGPT library. But if I am doing something a little bit more bespoke, for example, e-commerce product images, if you're trying to get them to be a little bit more unique, I use Adobe Firefly. You can obviously just change the background. You can add, like, for example, a wood texture. You can just make the image really nice. And obviously, you know yourself, unique images rank way better than an image that's been plastered on eBay, Amazon, whatever else. So just making the images a little bit more unique helps a lot more. One question I've got with you is, obviously you're a firm believer in DALL-E. I see you using it every day almost. Do you ever try to make that DALL-E image a little bit more unique, potentially adding it to Canva, adding some text and stuff like that? Do you do that?
All the time, yeah. So I always put it into Canva, and I always, if I can put some wording over the top, if it makes sense to do, so I will do, or might put like a bit of a heading or the logo on there and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm a massive believer, like you are. The split testing that we did on unique images was incredible. The results we got back to use, and where you using Adobe Firefly, where you was getting an actual product image, which was a stock image, but then making it that it was unique was out of this world. So yeah, I mean, with what you can do now with AI, it's just.
I think one thing that's important that you've just mentioned is you still have that human interaction. So say if you're doing it or if a member of staff is doing it,
Yeah.
you've still got that member of staff. It's not like you've just gotten rid of all your graphic designers. If anything, it's just speeding up the process. Instead of them being able to output, let's say, 10 images a day, they might be able to output 50 images with the prompts and stuff like that.
I kind of keep reverting back to the team that if you don't embrace AI is going to take your job.
Yeah.
It's really simple as that. So you've got to embrace it and get it working for you. AI is your VA.
Yeah.
And if you can get your AI as being your VA that can supercharge your output, like whether it's content or whether it's images or whether it's videos or whatever it is, the output that they're doing is 4, 5, 6, sometimes 10 times more on the content side of things, 10 times more content they can do in a single day than what they was doing 18 months ago.
Do you know, I was reading a blog recently and they basically said ChatGPT is almost like your personal assistant.
Yeah.
So use it as your personal assistant.
Definitely.
So that's the image side of stuff. Now let's talk a little bit more on video because I know you've been using it for video. You've literally been sending me loads of videos. What's your go-to AI video tool?
So the go-to video tool at present is InVideo.
Right, okay.
So InVideo AI is an app that's absolutely incredible. It's just literally you're giving it a prompt. Saying,
is it an app or is it in a website?
So it's both.
Right, okay.
But I've been using the app and just been saying, can you create me a 3 to 4 minute video on this concept? And the stuff that it comes back with is out of this world. Honestly, it's really, really good. Now, I've got 3 or 4 high-level videographers.
Yeah.
And I sent it through to them and they was like, oh, who's doing these for you? And I'm like, AI did it in 2 minutes. And they're like, no chance. And I'm like, they did everything, including the voiceover. I can change the voiceover and stuff like that. I can change any scripts of it. Change like whether I want them from the UK or from California or from Miami or whatever you want, you can change the voiceovers on. But what I'm looking now to do in 2024 is I'm a massive believer of embracing AI is I'm then going to go down the road of the faceless video brands in scaling that out. I'm going to create a brand that does faceless videos for others. Obviously, we own a lot of rank and rent sites. So these people that might do carpet cleaning or roofing or plumbing, they don't really give me that many videos to kind of put on the site. But I want to be doing effective frequency. I want to be seen on social media. I want to be ranking the videos. I want to be ranking and getting stuff being shared on Twitter, on Facebook and stuff like that. So it's going to make it easier for them to be able to scale out on the video front. I'm going to create some faceless video brands this year, as well as going back, obviously, something for you to talk on with regards to the image front. We might be looking, myself and you, at founding and setting up a AI image kind of company as well. And then obviously moving on away from that is the topical maps. So why don't you tell them about AI, that you been using AI now for topical maps as well? Because we're creating a new brand that's coming out there called Topical Titan. It's going to come out in the next 6 weeks. And again, the levels of what that can do, semantically relating and making certain it's got different intents is unbelievable.
So let's take it back a step, right? Because you've just dropped in semantically, right? You're using big words, right? I don't like big words, but basically with the whole purpose of Topical Titan, and I think you would agree with me here, is when you go and get a topical map for your SEO website, usually they just spit out 300 articles or 400 articles or 1,000 articles, right? And sometimes it can be a bit of a mess and you're like, oh, well, where do I start here? The whole purpose of Topical Titan is obviously we first of all do the actual topical map of your website, but we're like, whoa, let's just home in on this subject. And essentially what we're planning on doing is essentially making it a lot more easier for people to understand, because obviously there's guys like Corey out there where you speak to him and it's like a human calculator you're speaking to. But the whole purpose of Topical Titan is for somebody that's looking to set up a new affiliate website or set up a website in general in the SEO space. We're trying to make the actual topical map a lot more understandable. We're going after a lot easier keywords to go for first. So you're essentially winning on the secondary keywords, and then you're slowly building up to try and rank for a monster keyword like male running shoes or female running shoes. So that's the whole purpose of Topical Titan. There's a few of us involved in that. But yeah, as James mentioned, it will be launched, beta launched to a few private people in the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, so it's like you was talking about it then, I'm going to drop in a few big words like it's semantically related, because that's the correct term to use. Some people say, oh, you're just trying to overcomplicate it, but it's not. The way that AI is able to parse what different intents are now within there from what they know from large language models of what is different, then can start telling you, actually, even if there's not a SERP for it yet, like on the search engine results page, there's not a page for that. If AI is saying that within the intent of that search term needs a different page, we've been breaking the SERP. Everyone just seems to reflect what's there in the SERP and do copycat content. In 2024, a lot of people and a lot of podcasts have been talking about information gain. Topical Titan's going to be there for your topical map to give you information gain. Forget just about information gain on a page level to get a few words and a few questions there. Mm-hmm. We're going to find you full articles that are missing from your site, or you might have touched upon as a H2 loader on the page that needs its own page. It's got its own search intent. Yeah. So it is going to absolutely, it's just like topical map on steroids. It's not going to be core A style, which is very important for people to know. It's not going to be breaking down and doing every single macro and micro content for content briefs and stuff like that. It's going to be for someone starting out a new site. Here's 350 pages that you need to do that might not even have 8 revs or 7 rush, or even if they do have it, they might not understand properly of knowing how to cluster certain like keywords into certain pages and stuff like that.
I just want to go back a couple steps, because there might be a few people that don't know what information gain is. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but let's say LG go and release a new 50-inch TV tomorrow called the LG James Dooley 445, right? It's a new 45-inch television. If you have that on your technology website today, and you're the first website to have it on your website, that's information gain?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so it's new articles like that. But then also there's times where, prime example, so people might have a page in the gambling sector on iOS betting apps, but they might then not have created a page for iPhone and iPad. There's enough information on iPhones and iPads, like different types of models, right, for you to do a different page for it. And actually, you might actually, depending whether it's an iPad or whether it's an iPhone, have a different list of betting apps in a different order that you might think the Paddy Power betting app on iPad is specifically better than the iPhone. Now, a lot of people might just do iOS betting apps. If the large language models from Topical Titan within AI is saying you can do a different page on this isn't just using the search engine results page to determine whether it does or it doesn't. So sometimes Keyword Cupid and Cluster AI and other clustering tools like that can be a little bit obsolete. When you actually start using AI and understanding there's a different intent between iPhone, iPad, or iOS. An iPhone and an iPad might, like you said, might come back with different results. Yes, they're both on Apple devices. Yes, they both got iOS kind of software. But you might give different results because the iPad's got a slightly larger screen. For that reason, it might work better on one than the other.
One thing that you've just mentioned is super important as well. So in the actual page, the entity's based on, like, for example, the resolution on iPhone and the resolution on iPad, completely different. So you can't have the one page ranking for both as well, because you need certain entities on the iPad page, but you need certain entities on the iPhone page. But that's super important.
So I've got another one as well for you. So AI AI for SEO in 2024, we're big believers. We've got all the team now have homed in on it to say, this is the future. We need to embrace it. Otherwise, it's going to replace our jobs. But actually, it's going to supercharge them moving into 2024. So topic, AI link building within SEO.
I like this one.
Talk a little bit about the link simulator now that we've built in-house with AI.
So the link simulator, we can essentially evaluate which links are pushing the needle for your competitors. We can essentially get rid of all the noisy links, because you look at any website, there's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Like you look at, for example, the likes of Forbes, right? I don't know how many referring domains they have, but let's say they've got 200,000 referring domains. I'm sure they have more. Not all 200,000 will actually be pushing the needle or pushing the power or essentially helping that website rank.
Yeah.
So first of all, we essentially eliminate all the noise. We'll look at then the links that are pushing the needle or the power to say. And then from then, we'll then eliminate, let's say, the worst, 25% of the links, the most toxic ones. And then we actually have essentially homed in on the best performing 75% of the links. So out of the 200,000 referring domains, we might have actually gotten rid of, let's say, I don't know, 100,000 links. And then we're only down to, let's say, 50,000 or 60,000 links that we are like, right, okay, we know that these links are the ones that are actually pushing the needle. And then again, you don't run the risk of building toxic links. You're not building noisy links or links that don't essentially are zero value as well, because Google do zero value a lot of links. So yeah, the team have gotten so good with AI, especially on the link building side of stuff. Have you got anything else to add? Because there's one other tactic.
On crunching the data with AI link building, the biggest thing that we wanted to do is a lot of people just look at high DR type, do follow backlinks.
Yeah.
It's AI is able to look at relevance using kind of NLP categorization type and semantic kind of, is it relevant or is it not relevant on a page level, but also look at domain level as well. And it can quickly crunch those numbers. But the biggest parts is the SEO tools in 2024 now are becoming expensive. If I go and use Ahrefs to be looking at DR, and I'm looking at tens of thousands of domains, every time I do a filter, it's an extra credit. If I do another filter, it's an extra credit. And then start trying to use SEMrush for, let's say, spam score, right? Which I don't really like just on its own, if I'm being honest with you. I prefer the toxicity score within link research tools. But we're trying to get as much data as we can, and that's what AI wants. The more data that AI can crunch, the better. So if we can export all the spam score from SEMrush, the DR, and everything that's needed from like the predicted traffic levels from Ahrefs, then we've got the link research tools for power, trust, and toxicity that can all crunch together. And then just within Google Sheets with a link simulator of using AI, we've got unlimited filters. There's no like, oh, you've just done a filter, it's another credit. Oh, there's another credit here and stuff like that. So we're able to then crunch it on a big level. But then when every single link that now is being placed through 4 different link agencies that we own, that every single link placed, when we're tracking whether links are going up and down, and we can run it against their backlink profile to see what's working and what's not working. And obviously we've expanded our blacklist of guest post farms and all the rest of it. I think the other person that's got a blacklist kind of guest post farm is Matt Woodward.
Yeah.
So Matthew Woodward was he was the guy that kind of gave me the idea of going, let's make certain that these blacklisted domains aren't in our database. Yeah. So we've kind of cleaned that up. And now the biggest part is we've got so many different subsections of our database for what works in what niches and what doesn't work in certain niches. That, yeah, it's brilliant. Like looking at having AI to be able to calculate toxicity, trust, and power together is just, it's saved so much time for our database managers, and it's actually made the output so much better for all of our clients.
Yeah.
So AI link building is huge as well. So it's for all elements really of AI SEO.
Mm-hmm. But one other thing as well that we've started using AI for in Searcheroo and stuff like that is the actual anchor text ratios. So I don't know if you've seen this, but the team now are essentially exporting 3 or 4 competitors, and within 10 minutes they know what anchor text ratio you can get away with. So say you came to us and you said, I want some links for fat rank, and I want to rank for, I don't know, best SEO agency London. We can very quickly scrape together all of your competitors in that area, base it off of your backlinks you already have, and we can create some super safe anchor text. Because that's another thing that a lot of SEOs struggle with, is they over optimize certain anchors, or potentially they've not optimized enough, so they're actually under the limit. So that's another thing that the team's actually started doing as well.
I think probably some of the best results that we've had in the last couple of weeks is the AI Parasite SEO as well.
Yeah.
So like us being able to use Godlike mode with auto blogging to create the content, spend literally 5 to 10 minutes on editing it in a few places, just literally adding in 1 or 2 images and adding in some call to action buttons, posting it on some free sites, Medium, LinkedIn Pulse. Do you know what I mean? These aren't even expensive. Well, they're free to perform onto those. Publishing them and then doing a few tier 2 backlinks and tier 3 backlinks from Searcheroo to those posts, and within 24 hours ranking. It's incredible times. And for people that people that don't have a budget, like have got no budget at all, could turn around and go, ChatGPT to rewrite certain articles with the right prompts, and then turn around and then upload it onto LinkedIn Pulse. And if it's a long tail without any tier 2 backlinks, you can still rank for it as long as you're sharing it on social media and stuff like that. So the times of using AI for SEO in 2024, it's incredible times. The best times it's been. And people talk about, back in 2010 where you used to be able to spam Google and do this and do that. Like, I think now's the best time that there is. I've never seen results within 24 hours for some difficult keywords like we're getting at present. It's crazy times for using AI. Like,
yeah, definitely.
so what's your, like, with regards to using artificial intelligence, would you recommend, so let's say someone's got a white hat agency, whether it's social media, whether it's link building, whether it's content, and they came to you and says, Kasra, I want you to be my artificial intelligence mentor. What message have you got for those kind of companies to say whether they should embrace it, or let's say they've got some members of staff that are worried that if they do embrace it, that their jobs are at risk?
Do you know what? I'd probably be running an audit on everyone, like, and it's staff-wise, and seeing what's been spent the most amount of time on, very similar to what we've done in the office.
Yeah.
So say, for example, you've got a videographer that's, I don't know, taking 5 hours out of his day to cut up a load of shorts and reels and stuff like that. Well, why don't you use, is it Opus that does the shorts? I believe it's Opus. Why don't you use that? And instead of doing 5 or 10 reels, you can do 50 in the same amount of time. I think auditing all of your staff, and it's not to say like what are you doing there, what are you doing there. It's like, it's more so to just evaluate what the most time's been spent on. Like, for example, we've not even spoke about like the citation side of stuff. A lot of that's been AI implemented. So a lot of the contact forms that you fill out with the business information, all can be automated. So that would be my first step. What would be yours if somebody came to you?
Likewise, yeah. I mean, I'd say getting a Python developer would be one of the first things. Let's say if you're going to be doing citations, or you're getting a Python developer mixed in with AI that then can do link building on tap for directories, that you can keep spinning out the new kind of business descriptions every single time to make them unique within AI, within seconds. It can be done, which then makes it unique content per citation. They're ranking they're indexing a lot easier. So they're actually getting the clout of it. Where it's a lot of the time it's hard to index citations. So on that front, but if I was an artificial intelligence mentor, it would definitely be to get every single team member to be on board with it. I think that's the hardest part at first, because they feel it's going to replace them, but actually it should be supercharging them. So if they then start to understand that AI is going to supercharge them and their output, and actually if they get better and become, like you said, AI prompt engineers, and it can help them along the way, it just makes their job easier. Like they can spend more time if they want to go on holiday with the kids, if they want to go and do other things. As long as their output is making the business money and they can get better with the prompts, they've got more spare time to do things. So I think they definitely should be embracing everything they can for artificial intelligence for the team members. But once they buy into it, they'll be wanting to learn it over a weekend, over a night. They'll be like, wow, these times now are incredible to be able to scale. And yeah, I mean, for us, like you said, we're probably creating too many brands at the moment. We've got an AI image brand coming out. We've got an AI faceless video brand coming out. AI, obviously, with audio, part on auto blogging. Got the AI topical maps. So all related really to SEO and trying to make the most of how we can supercharge our staff, but then scale Otherwise, if we don't innovate, we're going to evaporate. Some others are going to come up and take over us, and I just will not have that. So we've got to keep driving forward and keep being the head of innovation, and just keep looking to see where things will take us. It's going to be a very interesting year, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Have you got anything else to add in?
Not really, no. I think that's just really everything. It's just good to have just a general chat solely about AI and nothing else, because sometimes you can go off on a tangent about different things, but if you're generally talking solely about AI, it's making certain we're leveraging it to its full potential.
Yeah, so that has been the video about AI SEO. Thanks for coming on, James.
Cheers.